guys, I'm going to go ahead and talk about the final step to the Futurism project, which is the color. So number 3 says blend 2 colors together in each figure that are analogous colors. This means pick 2 colors that are next to each other on the color wheel. Then it says on number 5, create contrast with your figures against the background. So I'm going to show you how this is going to be done. So I'm grading partly on blending. So if I look at my project, I have to decide what 2 colors that I want to put in the figure. So here's my color wheel. Analogous are next to each other on the color wheel. Now I have primary colors, meaning blue, yellow, and red. I have secondary colors, meaning blue, green, green, orange, and purple. Or I have the intermediate colors, which is blue, violet, red, orange, yellow, green, and blue, green. So next to each other, it could mean blue, green, and blue. It also could mean blue and green. Sometimes we don't use the intermediate colors. So for mine, I'm going to use blue and green. And this is just a variation on it. I have my Prisma colors because I love those. So I'm going to start in the figure. Doesn't matter really which one you do on the outside, but I tend to do the darker color. And in this case, it would be the blue. So when I shade this, I'm going to start on the outside and I'm going to shade darker. And I'm going to fade it out to lighter. Because when you mix colored pencils, you need to make sure that it is lighter so that it mixes. Now, if you're using oil pastels, you're not really going to use that same principle. You're going to use the darker color on the outside, and then you'll mix it with the lighter color in the middle. It's just a little bit different. Now, in areas like this, it's going to be a little difficult in the arms and the legs. So I'm just going to go kind of dark around the edges and then fade it out to a lighter so I can mix it with that green. So I chose cool colors for my figure. And that means when I try to have it contrast, because remember that last one said we were going to have contrast with the background, I may use warm colors. So cool colors meaning like blue, green, purple. Warm colors, yellow and orange and red. It could even be pink. So let's say I did this whole thing because I don't want to use up all of your time. Okay, let's say I did the whole thing. Then I would take the green and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to blend it. So when you're blending, again, you're not pressing down too hard. You can always add more layers, meaning that I could go back with the blue, add a little more, go back with the green, add a little bit more so it pops out. But you don't want to press down a lot right away because what's going to happen is you're going to get a lot of streaky lines with colored pencils and you don't want that. Okay, so I'm going to go through. I'm going to shade the green in the middle. And then I would do this for every single figure. So if you see on mine, I have every single figure, the blue around the outside, the green in the middle. You don't have to choose those 2 colors, but for whatever reason, I tend to be doing that. Then in the background, I'm going to pick colors that contrast. Now, I decided to do pinks and reds. Those are warm colors, but pink is not on the color wheel because it's technically a tint, okay? So when I've done colored pencils, I've told people that they could either blend in the background like I did here. I faded red into orange, into lighter orange, into yellow. That creates a cool background. Or if you're doing colored pencils, you could actually just do shading. So I could take this, it's like a red orange, and I could do like darker, and then I could fade it into a lighter in the same kind of strip instead of blending it into like, let's say pink. And that creates contrast also. So you can create contrast in a lot of ways. And then maybe it's light and it gets even lighter. So then on my next one to create contrast, I could take, let's say, this pinkish color, and I could start dark at the top and flip it so it's light at the top on the other one. I could start dark at the top and then fade it out. I know this looks terrible, but I can only do so much on a video. Okay, and then I could fade it out to light. So again, what you're trying to create is contrast. And so contrast meaning obviously changes in between 2 things. So It could be light versus dark. It could be warm versus cool. It could be about size difference. In this case, it's not about size difference, it's about color. So whatever you do for the background, it just needs to contrast. Some people have used black and they've done like dark to light, flip it, dark to light, and have made it contrast that way. So I'm pretty open to how you make the background contrast, but you just need to make sure that it stands out. If you notice on mine, on this purple's a cool color. So I did add in, because I was using oil pastels, I did add in a little bit of a cool color because I felt like it looked good. So you have to use your own judgment on, well, what do you think would contrast with the background? What do you think would look good? The other requirement, remember, analogous colors blending in the figure. If you have additional questions on what you should be doing or how you should be doing it, you can email me or you can ask in class, and I can look at your project. So the main goal is contrast in the background. Thanks so much.